Everything should be good. Except for the timer, I'm a fool. There we go. Now everything should be good. So... maybe you can tell the people what we have here as I change two things.
Yes. So Jish and Aries are going to do basically a score attack, which means that they will have an hour. And pretty much, very simple, whoever gets the highest score within the hour kind of wins. So it's not exactly a race. It's more so, again, score attack based kind of action. Because I feel like, again, that's the most enjoyable way of watching and playing Tetris anyway. So we thought that could have been an interesting puzzle game quota for the day. So, for today we had our puzzle game in, which is always good.
Yes. And we're gonna see max outs, right? That's gonna happen.
Well, maybe, hopefully. I forget what their PBs are. I feel like they're should be around the 500 or 600k. So we're there. We have potential.
Yeah, they both have close
it can happen.
600,000 or so, I think. So actually, Aries has slightly higher, and Jish is pretty close too. So okay, you guys, if you can write them in Discord, we're ready to go. They can start whenever, and then as soon as I see both start, I'll just obviously start the timer on our side. But we'll give them an hour. But yeah, it was really cool. We did this a while ago as part of the little arcade channel that we had, or still have. It's not like it got nuked or anything. But what was really kind of cool about that, is... Sorry, I'm getting all set up here. There was supposed to be another commentator here. So me and Kat are doing this very impromptu.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah, that's okay. He got busy. So I'll wait until Aries starts here and then I'll start the timer. Okay. So these guys have an hour from now, and basically how that works is Tetris is really cool. I don't know. You want to start explaining it? So.
Dude, it's Tetris. I don't think there's a lot to explain, honestly. So it's pretty straightforward. You have a bunch of pieces that get thrown randomly at you. At some point, we tried to read and try to understand the degree of randomization that occurs behind the scenes, literally, as far as this game goes. And it's absolute gibberish to my brain. So I don't think there's anybody that can, even the biggest expert in Tetris as of right now, that can actually explain whatever happens in terms of randomizing it, aside from maybe the creator himself. We don't know. So you get a bunch of pieces, you can clear lines, each line, depending on the how big it is, singles, doubles, triples, and Tetris, of course, give you different values in terms of points. So ideally, if you're going for score attacks, you always want to score Tetrises, so again, as much as possible. There are some instances in which you will be forced to burn lines because the game just throws curveballs right at you very, very frequently. So the skill, I feel like, is in keeping yourself literally alive as you're playing Tetris, is being able to burn as efficiently as possible, which means the smallest amount of lines to clear out either whatever mess you have on the board going on, or again, if you're way too high on the board, to keep yourself nice and cool. That's a whole new set of skill, I feel like, and extremely good people at Tetris, I feel like, need to master that art necessarily if you want to, again, be very efficient in terms of like scoring and stuff like that. And I feel like they both are extremely good at doing that. I've seen both of them play. They're very efficient when it comes to that. And I feel like that's kind of like what divides, more or less anyway, or part of it anyway. Kind of beginners and kind of advanced players, I would say. Because you really need to be efficient at that stuff. And I feel like both of them are. And so that's how you score high. That's pretty much it. Like if you have 600 KPB, there's no other reason why you get that, and you must be able to burn. So I feel like they both are very good at that.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of good, there is a guy in chat that I met a long time ago, I think ironically through Bucky, but his name is Burrito. And he was literally just saying his Tetris high score is like 994,000, I think it said before chat scrolled up. But he's had that for 3 years. So imagine that. You're like so
the
close.
tease.
I know,
yes.
For real, yeah. No, but there is a lot that goes into this. One thing that honestly I didn't know was just like how difficult it was, because realistically at the end of the day, Kat plays Tetris. She's way better at it than I am. But the first time I played Tetris was when we were doing the little arcade monthly thing that we were doing. And I never played for score before. Like, we used to do like the speedrunning thing or whatever back then. We had to clear as many lines as possible. But yeah, so it was like the first time that I actually tried to do it. And it's hard because I had a really hard time getting even 100,000. And I have an incredibly awful PB of like 210,000, which on the record we could say is still higher than Sinister. But other than that, like, it's crazy. And once you actually start playing for score, which I would honestly encourage everyone to at least try, like, yeah, you have no idea what actually goes into it and like how hard it is to. I wouldn't necessarily say like build Tetrises, because like building is even, well, I mean, like building is still hard to some extent if you're doing it efficiently. But I think consistency is the hardest part, because it's extremely hard to keep going without making a single mistake, because as soon as you make a mistake, like, it dogpiles on you.
No, for sure. Like, being able to have a consistent build is basically, I would say, the foundation of being able to play Tetris for sure. And from there you kind of just build up your score pretty much. And again, like, I'm not exactly sure. Are they both DAS players?
I believe so.
I don't think. Yeah.
I know Jish said like the hell with rolling. Like it's gonna.
Yeah, because like it's crazy. But yeah, so if again, I guess people don't know. In the last few years, people have developed increasingly crazy ways of playing Tetris. So we all started with, again, using this DAS mechanic, which is basically kind of, just to break it down, anticipating where the next piece is going to go, so that you're basically charging your movement in such a way that you're able to move pieces faster, and so they can reach the left or right side of the screen faster than normal. So that's kind of like the foundation of DAS. People then decided that DAS was not enough, was not efficient enough. They were not happy with how fast they could move pieces around, so they started hyper-tapping, which is basically consisting in pressing directional buttons left and right as fast as possible, so that you're literally slamming pieces left and right consecutively, and it's just insane. So once people started figuring out hyper-tapping, we saw scores that clearly Tetris never saw before. That became the, I guess, at the time, most efficient way of playing Tetris. And everybody at that point was becoming a hyper-tapper, and everybody was getting crazy PBs and crazy world records and stuff. And then, as of a few years ago, actually just a couple, maybe 3, people decided that hyper-tapping was not enough again. So they figured out that, you know what, I cannot hyper-tap fast enough. So I had to find a way where I can slam pieces left and right even faster than with hyper-tapping. So they came up with something that is called rolling, which literally consists in you grabbing the controller in such a weird manner that I cannot even explain, and literally rolling your fingers on the back on the controller with one hand, and with the other hand, you're literally putting a finger where the D-pad is, and you're rolling the D-pad against your finger so that all the directional buttons that you're pressing with that one fingers are pressed in such a fast manner that you cannot just replicate with hyper tapping. Doesn't matter how fast of a masher you are. So that's now basically state of the art when it comes to moving pieces left and right in Tetris. So it took a while, I feel like, to develop, and it took a while so that people became consistent with that, because you are prone to mistakes extremely easily, because control is kind of like all over the place at that point. So you really need to master that technique. And as of right now, again, it took people a few tries, I feel like, to get there, but at this point, there are people that are absolutely insane with that. And you need to, I feel like, master that art as well if you want to be competitive when it comes to like top players and stuff like that. So again, we will see whatever the future brings, I guess, when it comes to people figuring out how to move pieces around, because that's going to be interesting. But I feel like for now we have hit that, again, goal where people for now are satisfied when it comes to moving pieces and stuff like that. So I feel like rolling will stay for a while until, again, the next big thing is discovered.
Like the next big thing at this point is like mind control or telekinesis.
Like I don't even know, like telekinesis or some shit. Like I don't even know.
It has to
But, like, not necessarily, like, you need to develop superpowers if you want to go further than rolling. Like,
yes.
There's no other way.
Like, I was blown
There's
away.
no other way.
Like, OnQuad literally just posted that link. Like, go click on it and spend whatever amount of time, like even 30 seconds just checking it out.
Ah, yeah.
But like, it is absurd, because the first time that I saw that is when we were watching like the Tetris World Championships or whatever, and like these guys with gloves, it looks like they're playing a piano in like the back of the control and stuff. And like, that makes sense to me to some extent, but like he says, rolling is a dark art. It's like
it is,
because it's very similar actually, and it's very different at the same time, but it's kind of similar to like a fighting game technique. And if you're using like an arcade stick, there's something called pianoing, and I used to do that, at least when I was playing fighting games a long time ago on arcade sticks. But like, what they do with rolling is so much more alien to my brain, and that's coming from somebody that used to use an arcade stick very frequently in fighting games, and borderline, I would say, mastered things like negative edge and pianoing. So just seeing these guys do that, it's crazy.
Not for sure. Like, there's no possible logical explanation. Again, it's funny to see, because, like, again, if you watch tournaments and stuff, like, people use whatever sort of setup. Like, there's people using feet, there's people using gloves, there's people using lotions, there's like, it's insane. So like, everybody I feel like is figuring out their like their own version of rolling, and again, it's extremely funny actually to see how people evolve that kind of skill. But no, it's just like, it's insane. So we have peaked. Like, there's no other way. So we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, I don't know where you do, other than, again, like telekinesis and like straight up mind control.
No, for sure. Like, again, we'll
wait,
see, I guess.
I'll call it now. You know what's gonna happen? Humans are going to get, maybe this is actually where they peak. Like, maybe they peak at rolling and they can never ever get higher than rolling ever again. But where Tetris ascends is all the AI stuff that's happening now. AI will figure out a way. And
maybe.
and validate all of Tetris, like all of human
the progress so far.
Everything. It'll be eradicated like that overnight.
Yeah, like, that's gonna be sad.
100%. Yeah. I'm gonna call it now. So we had kind of an early start, and then we're seeing the resets here. So right now we have 189k to 203. So it's kind of interesting how both of them opted to get around 200,000, or maybe that's just what they were given with the boards and stuff, but then they just started resetting.
I feel like when you go for attempts, again, I guess for these standards, it's extremely common to have, again, a few runs at the very beginning where you're just getting rust out, or you're just again kind of studying whatever kind of RNG the game decided to give you for that day. You're kind of evaluating your Tetris day, I feel like. So it's extremely common to have maybe like 100k or 200k as a start. And then from there, of course, like you're going to work on that. But it's all in order, I feel like. Like Aries specifically, like I feel like it's compared to the start of Jish, is much cleaner when it comes to board management and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's the basis from where you start. So we'll see what happens from there. And again, it's like mistakes are going to happen, misdrops are going to happen. Like there's this fun thing that usually happens when it's not supposed to happen, where you're basically, the game is allowing you to register an extra like tap on the A or the B press, which causes, of course, the piece to go wild, and it's going to go placed in such a manner that you clearly don't want. So you have to adjust for that too, on the fly. So there's a lot that can go wrong, and that you had to adjust for if RNG wasn't enough. So
yeah,
there's also something.
No, and to the people that maybe don't know, like RNG, as Kat was kind of saying at the very beginning, is definitely a thing, and like people haven't figured out this, which if you think about that is like pretty wild, because there's so many games that have been either, I guess, like decompiled or even recompiled from the ground up, or just data mined to existence. And the fact that apparently they still don't completely understand like how Tetris works is, first of all, I think silly in itself. But second, when we were watching those like world championship things, it was pretty crazy, because at that point there was sometimes like 30 some lines and stuff like that happened where people didn't get a drought, or even more actually. So that's again pretty insane. So Aries,
No, it can be.
had 264,000 there. If you would be a great person, can I go get an apple? I'll be right back. I'm pretty starving.
What?
An apple.
Sure, go get an apple, sir.
Thank you, my woman. I'll be right back. I wanted to earlier. I didn't mean to leave you here, but yeah, I need to go just get like something to eat real quick. I'll be right back.
You are allowed to get the apple, yes.
Thank you. Permission granted. I'll be right
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, no, as we were saying, like it's a lot to deal with. I feel like there's again RNG all over the place. There's building all over the place. It's just a lot to handle, and both of them have, which is kind of the standard, has started from level 18, which again you do because depending on the number of the level that you're starting on. Clearing Tetrises, or really clearing any line really, will give you a different increment in terms of points. So if you're clearing lines, say at level 0, you're going to get a certain amount of points, and if you're going to clear the same amount of lines at level 18, you're going to get a much higher multiplier basically. So it's much more convenient if you're going for score attacks basically, to start from the highest level possible. So that's the reason why they both started at 18. And then from there, once you reach once you clear 130 lines, the level is going to switch to 19, which basically doubles the speed. And 19 is where stuff gets extremely dicey, because it's extremely hard to control. So especially if you're a DAS player, I feel like you need to have a masterful control of everything Tetris-wise at that point. Like you really, really, really need to be a god when it comes to moving pieces around, and you need to basically have at all times an exact, or more so again, just like as exact as possible idea of where your next piece is going to go and what the next clear is going to make the board look like. There's so much to consider and just like to handle when it comes to, again, higher speeds, and just like building in such a way that you're not clearing things that are inconvenient and stuff like that. So there's a lot. Like Tetris is a whole lot to handle, honestly. But it's also the reason why it's actually, it's, if you like, again, this kind of stuff, again, I cannot recommend, honestly, a puzzle game more than this one. It's like, I feel like it's the puzzle game. So if you like the genre, for sure, give it a try. See, you will cry. Like, I will warn you now, there's a lot of tears that are going to stream probably from your eyes, and that's just how Tetris works. And it's just gonna happen. So, and it's a pretty steep curve when it comes to, I feel like anyway, learning, because the game is brutal. So you really want to take your time when it comes to, again, figuring out how to build, figuring out how a piece rotates, how every piece rotates, and just like, again, piece configuration and getting used to eyeballing, again, that next piece, which is basically extremely crucial when it comes to building properly and stuff. So it's a lot to unpack, it's a lot to take into account as you play.
Okay, we're back.
Are you back with the apple?
Yes.
Good.
I'm just staring at it. So.
It must be a nice apple, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's exactly what Base Guy wrote into chat. It looks exactly like
Good.
that.
I'm glad that your apple looks exactly like an apple.
Alright, chat, we're not going to try to be like one of those weird, I don't even know what you call them.
ASMR moments.
Yeah. But you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. We've been streaming again for like 8 straight hours. I haven't really had anything to eat yet. I'm gonna bite into this apple, okay?
Uh-huh. Like, you could do it, like, not necessarily into the microphone too, like, you know?
We just need one bite for now. And then my stomach
Okay.
will be like, okay, you know what? You can survive.
Okay.
So, I see Jish casually just got like almost 300,000 when I went to go grab an apple.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
No, I'm quiet.
My goodness.
So at what point, minute-wise, do you think they start to feel like, okay, like I should try one more time and waste the amount of time, or I should immediately reset?
Well, anytime. I don't think there's like a threshold when it comes to that.
No, like if you were doing this and you were versing somebody literally, like it doesn't, at some point, like, you know, like 20 minutes remaining or something, you're like, okay, like now it needs to be a reset if everything doesn't go perfect.
See, honestly, I don't know, because, like, I feel like that's very personal, like, depending on how you approach score attacks, but also when it comes to, like, point progression awareness. Because I feel like if you have knowledge of, like, the state of your game, like, if you know that you got to, I don't know, like 80 lines cleared, and you know that you have basically burned all your way through the game, or you haven't really scored that many Tetrises at that point, like, you know for sure that, again, level 19 is approaching, and you know that it's going to be increasingly harder at that point to keep the board clean and to score higher and do all that stuff. So I feel like it's more so about game awareness and just like run awareness more than, again, time management and doing all that stuff, because, like, again, time is relative at that point. So I don't know, it's more so, again, in my brain anyway, it's more so about being aware of where you are when it comes to, again, the quality of your run, or the quality of your attempt anyway. Like, if there's way too much burning going on and not enough Tetrises, then clearly that's not exactly an ideal run to keep working on. Jish is doing this crazy shit. Like, I don't even know what's happening there. Like, he just, like, moved shit out of the way, and he was like, no, I'm going to get the dirtiest Tetris, like, the game has ever seen. And he managed. It's insane. Like, I don't even know. He literally just, like, slammed stuff left and right. He was like, no, like, the well needs to be clear. And so, yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, I mean, like, when you start the game and you start misdropping shit already, or you don't have, like, an ideal opening when it comes to piece combination, like, you just want to throw in the towel, honestly. Because, like, an hour when it comes to square attacking isn't really that much. Like, it goes by... It's insane, like, how quickly it goes by. So, it's really not a lot. So you want to maximize that for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It goes by very quickly. No, for sure. Like, I feel like, again, like, it doesn't matter your degree of rust or your degree of practice, like, the first few attempts are always going to be a little more, again, dicey when it comes to that stuff. So as you go, I feel like having a cleaner board or just, like, handling, I guess, piece combinations better is always going to improve over time. So, for sure. Like, nothing out of the ordinary. Yeah, I feel like for players of their standards, for sure, like 300k is absolutely a reach. Like, no problem with that.
Yes, and I realized that I was muted, so great.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
Oh,
Because
great
of
job.
apple eating, but I didn't eat an apple for whatever.
So you just muted yourself for the sake of muting yourself.
Yes. So we're gonna ask Chad again because nobody would have heard that except for Kat. I was gonna say, what do you think we're gonna see score-wise? Because I think 300,000 is obviously gonna happen. Do you think that we're gonna see 400,000, 500,000, or 600,000? Where do you think these guys will kind of plateau? Yeah, no, Kat just talks to herself sometimes, you know.
I don't.
I know.
Like, honestly.
No, you don't.
Like, I talk so little that not even to myself.
Oh, we have a meme 420,000.
Of course.
Yes. I think... I wonder if these guys like practiced in theory like leading up to this, or if you just kind of always know that you can play Tetris when you play Tetris.
Oh, I don't think so. Like, again, like, I don't play Tetris often whatsoever. Like, I really don't. And every single time that I find myself playing Tetris again, like, it literally is a struggle, because you really... Like, it's not exactly as, like, riding a bike. Like once you learn, it's there forever for some reason. Like, in this case, I feel like you really want to keep yourself in shape when it comes to, again, Tetris and handling stuff. More so, I feel like when it comes to learning how to build, that stays there permanently. But when it comes to speed management, then it's hard, because, again, getting your eyes used to, again, the level 18 speed is not exactly a given. So, like, and you notice that too, like, even just from a viewer standpoint, because if you're very much used to watching Tetris or just, like, watching matches and stuff like that, and people constantly play at level 18 or 19 speed and stuff like that, like, your eyes are literally trained to that speed. And to that speed, your brain is going to process the next piece and the next build and all this stuff. And, but it needs to be there. Like, it needs to be something that your brain is constantly trying to process, or something that you constantly expose your brain to. And it's not really something that just stays there permanently, I think, anyway. So, for sure, I feel like if you're going to score attack or you're going to run whatever marathon, like in this case, it's very much advisable to practice or just like, again, get your eyes used to the speed and stuff like that. Especially when it comes to level 19, because again, if you're capable of the things that these two players are capable of, then sure enough, like you need to know how to handle 19, because you're for sure going to reach it at some point. So like, I feel like speed is necessarily something that you need to manage and you need to practice for sure.
I'm so sorry if it's a duplicate question when I went downstairs, but you talked about level 19 and like how many pieces and stuff it takes, or?
Yes, I just mentioned that if you start from level 18, then after 130 lines, that's when level 19 is going to happen. I think anyway that the closest that they got was I think 100 lines. So we had the potential to get there within the next few minutes.
Well, I mean, Aries is at 70, I guess 71 now, but...
Mm-hmm.
And just deciding that wasn't worth it again.
No, like, again, when the board is that dirty and you're that far high up, then it's really not worth it. So, as soon as possible, you get the stuff out of the way.
So on level 18, it starts increasing at level... Oh no, that's right. It's always at 130.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, it's the other speeds that it increases by like 10 or whatever.
Yeah, like, depending where you start anyway. Like, if you start from 0, that's every time. But no, like, in this case, for sure, 130. And then only 3 doubles, so that's also something that you need to prepare for, because, again, if you know that you're approaching the transition to level 19, you really, really, really want to have some form of, like, as clean as possible board, so that the transition kind of doesn't get you unprepared when it comes to that. Because, like, even, like, top players struggle with that. And you can see that very, very frequently, actually, if you don't really have a clean board and then speed level 19 hits you, then you're kind of screwed. Like, it's easy to get screwed in that kind of sense. So that's also something to take into account.
Speaking of, Aries did. Yeah, 240,000 when he died there, so he was right below. See, I wonder what their threshold is when it comes to even just a couple of those like empty spaces. Like if you start seeing like 2, like do you try to outplay that or?
Yeah, I guess it depends on, I guess, your strategy, because, like, I don't know if there's a correct answer by default, because I've seen a lot of people foregoing certain holes in the build, especially when they happen to be at the bottom, or they build and clear stuff in such a manner that the holes are going to get to the very bottom line, basically, of the board, in such a way that you can basically skip that line to form Tetrises, and you can kind of basically start like one up from the bottom, which level 18, I feel like it's not that unmanageable. So if that's the situation that you're dealing with, then you can deal with it relatively easily. When it comes to level 19, like, I feel like you really, really need to take care of the holes in your board, because it's easy for things to spiral out of control at that point, and you really need to be aware of, again, where the holes are, and ideally you shouldn't be putting additional weight on those holes, so that you can kind of like clear them out and burn lines, so that you can start building from scratch, much like Jish was doing right now. So also for the sake of, again, wasting as little lines as possible, because like you really don't want to use that many lines to clear your holes, or just like to fill in gaps and stuff like that. Because of course, the more lines you clear, the fastest you approach level 19, and the least opportunities I think you have to score higher. So you really need to be careful there.
Well, even a couple months ago, like when we were still really playing Tetris, I had 158 or something. Because I almost got as high as when we were at GDQ. And that would have been... Because I remember getting to like level 21 or 22 or something, and I was like, what?
Yep.
But that attempt, I basically burned the entire time. So I only ended up having like 130 or like 140,000.
No, yeah, it's easy to do that.
Yeah, and you literally get caught in like this like cycle where you're constantly burning stuff.
Yep.
And you literally don't get almost any points. So
Yep.
like you could probably, if you just made on level 18 like 5 Tetrises in a row or something, beat the score that I had, even though I burned
For sure.
like almost 160 lines there.
No, for sure. Like, again, wasting scores, I feel like it's that easy. Like, if you start burning left and right, it just dawns on you very quickly. And speaking of points, and to answer J-Dub's question, I think at level 18, a Tetris is worth something like 22k points, or something around that. Like, I don't know the exact number precisely, but I think it's something like 22k. And level 19 is a little closer to 30k. So at that point, it's clearly easier to score higher, because you're a higher level, so your multiplier is higher, and everything is just like more worth it when it comes to that. But clearly, again, it becomes much more difficult because the speed is insane. So yeah, Jish is pretty close to transition at this point,
yeah.
but he got such a stupid sequence of pieces, like literally S and Z's like all over, like only that.
Yeah.
So that's the worst. Like, you are very high when it comes to, again, the level of the board. It's not exactly the cleanest. Like the last thing literally that you want to see is like Z and S's. Like, it's just silly.
Somehow he's like I didn't want to commentate or curse it, because I was like, I wonder if he's gonna beat his score now. Okay, of course, now that I talked, right? What? No.
Yeah, of course. We're still alive.
No, right when I say
Yeah,
that,
no.
like right when I provide like affirmation, I was like, here we go.
No, it's like it gets dangerous when it comes to, like, if you're that high on the board, and again you're approaching transition and you're playing level 18, like it's just a lot. So like survival skills at that point become extremely hard to implement. So it's not easy. Again, especially if the RNG of the game is actually also that mean, because again, like square pieces, S, Z's, like, no thank you, just get them out of here.
Yeah, no, especially when it's so high up on the board.
No, for sure. Like, the room for maneuvering at that point is so small, literally.
And honestly, like, I think to play, it's almost exponential. And what I mean by that, like, if you can imagine, like, the grid that they're playing all the Tetris pieces in, as basically, like, thirds. It's like 33, 66, and then, like, 99%. Like, playing pretty comfortably, I would say at, like, 33 is not that difficult. But as soon as you get to, like, maybe that 70 or 80%, like, it's almost death. Like, you really need to know what you're doing, and 100% of the time, and execute perfectly 100% of the time. Because it's amazing just what a few extra lines up like this where Jish is right now, and how hard it is to deal with this. Although, of course, now that I say that, it's just like, no problem, man. We'll deal with that.
Cleaning all this shit.
Yeah, there you go. The total comeback. Look at that. Good job, Jish.
Yeah.
That was really good.
No, I mean, it gets uncomfortable extremely fast. Like at this speed, and when you're that high up, it's rough.
Yeah, that was a very good recovery.
Yeah, that was a good clear. We're still alive and kicking.
Alright, somehow again in that mess of stuff, Jish figured out there was a Tetris to be had.
Every now and then.
Yeah, we have the unorthodox Tetris.
Very unorthodox, yes.
It's like, let's make a Tetris where, like the first 20% or 30% of the screen is blocked, but we'll still make it up there anyway. But it's still scoring points, like.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're alive, like, you're scoring points for sure. So, that's all that matters at the end.
Let's see, Aries just really needs one line piece.
Yes. And usually you get the line
yeah.
piece once you fill in the well.
Yeah.
So that you cannot put it there. Oh, there you go. Thank you. You're such a kind, hearted game. There you go.
Oh, more line pieces.
Yeah, more J's. Thank you. Yes.
We literally had like 4 in a row actually. It was just like no. Alright, he's like, you know what? This seed sucks. I'm also out of here.
No, like, I feel like hanging pieces like that is just the worst, because like you're making your sides higher, so you're literally having less space in less time with like that speed to make things go all the way to one side or the other. So at that point, hanging pieces there is just, it's a direct reset basically. Like, it's hard to come back from that stuff.
So this is a really good start for, okay, I was gonna say extremely good start for Aries, where he just basically had every piece that he needed.
Yeah. Almost perfect clear, just so Tetris is basically.
Yeah, so. And I remember they actually keep track of that in like the World Tetris thing, where it was crazy to watch like some of the percentages of like pro players, where they would have a Tetris like 70% or like even higher actually.
Oh yeah, the Tetris rate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the track, basically the number of Tetrises that you score against the number of line pieces that you have. But I think, and again, I wouldn't know the technicalities of this, I think they track this stuff only when you're Tetris ready. So basically when you have a setup so that you can clear at least 4 lines or something like that to make it more precise when it comes to actual rate of Tetrises. So I might be wrong, but I think I heard something like that last time that I was watching the World Championships and stuff. So, yeah, like, it's a more accurate measurement at that point.
I remember like some of the people we were watching, they literally had like 100% until they had...
No, I mean, it's insane. Like...
Yeah, and they had like 100% until they had like 80 lines in, and then finally they would burn something, or like 100 lines in, and it's like, man, how do you even do that?
Yeah, like, you really, again, like, rolling specifically, like, allows you to reach heights when it comes to building your board that, like, you just cannot even fathom if you're just, like, using DAS to move around. It's just impossible. Like, you can literally slam pieces left and right, literally 2, like, spaces from the top. It's insane. Like, you just cannot do that otherwise. So, like, that kind of technique really allows you to literally just like bring the game to it's like stronger potential at that point, but you can also, you have such a higher level of comfort when it comes to, again, managing pieces and building in such a way that you're going to score higher. Like, it's just insane. So again, if you're a DAS player, like, the reason why you really want to keep your board clean is because, again, any height that you gain out of inconsistencies when it comes to stacking and stuff like that, you're going to pay for them, because you're going to get much higher up on the board and it's going to get uncomfortable soon. So again, burning and building orderly, like, you really want to do that. And yeah, that's cheating. Like, it's such a classic. Like, you used to just, like, again, the well is inaccessible, let's give the player a line. Like, it's just how it goes.
Yeah, no, I was literally watching on Aries' side, and it was like perfect, like literally perfect.
Yeah. And
then of course, right when the well gets covered, that was the line piece that he needed. So.
Yep. That's how it goes. And it's a shame because like he's playing so clean, like his boards are, again, have been extremely clean from the very start. So like I feel like it's mostly either a matter of bad RNG, just like not blessing him right now, or again maybe wanting to be a little bit more frisky, I guess, when it comes to stacking and not burning when you're supposed to burn, waiting for again the line piece to appear, I guess. But again, the game can be mean when it comes to that, so you need to take your precautions when it comes to that.
Well, interestingly enough, I was gonna say Aries literally just beat the little PB that he had, so he's at 273. But Jish equally is having a very clean game too. So I like how like at this particular moment in time, both of them just kind of snapped into like Zen mode, and they're like,
no, it's the blessed hour. We're having a minute of like good Tetris stuff, and then our just going to just like bash us again. It's just how it works.
As it just did with Aries. So this is just to take. Like he passed 200,000, so
yeah, he can get there.
Yeah. Aries closed the gap about 20,000. But Jish is playing very solid right now too. I mean, you see a 300k from Jish, you think?
Most likely. I feel like if this pace is kept, for sure.
Well, I mean, like
easily.
this one right now. Like, you think he's gonna get it?
I think so. Again, like unless again you're disastrously ruined by RNG, but like if you keep things nice and low, and again you don't get too high up when it comes to building. Like even there, like he was getting higher up, and I was like, okay, you're getting uncomfortable, sir. But like he waited, like he intentionally waited for the long bar, and he literally just like burned 2 lines so that he could get like at a more comfortable level when it comes to again moving pieces around, which is exactly what you want to do. Like you're not overburning, you're not destroying your stack, you're not again getting yourself out of Tetris ready position. And you're doing that efficiently in such a way that you can score again and not destroying your stack.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good with like those little L tuck things, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a possibility you could maybe recover. Whatever he recovered earlier from was far more complex and weird
absolutely,
than this
yeah.
thing.
No, that was absolutely stupid.
Yes. So,
Yeah, you gotta
oh
play
boy.
the flats.
We gotta.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like yeah, I feel like his curse is the like the what's his face? The J piece. Like every single time that he topped out, it was like basically like 50% of the time it was because of a J piece that either was like hanging in a place that it shouldn't have been hanging on, or just again that kind of stuff. But apparently J pieces are the cursed piece as of right now.
Yeah. That's a special technique of mine. When you have like 3 or 4 J pieces in a row and they're all facing one direction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a build technique of yours truly.
Yeah. Yeah, my special technique is when you get like 10 square pieces consecutively.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Then at the point you build the best tower that you've ever seen.
Yeah, no, that does actually happen to Kat multiple times, and I watched her play. She gets
yeah,
the
no,
best score
my
ever.
curse, yes, like my curse piece is the square, like absolutely, like they love me so much, like they cannot stay away from my board.
Yeah,
Every single time.
There was one time, like when you died, it was like 29 squares or something, and the next piece that you had, I think, was like 8 or 9. So it was like almost
Yeah, no, it's insane.
triple. Yeah, I
Yes.
never saw that before. It was like triple the
Same,
amount of squares.
honestly, but apparently that happens.
So Aries, there you go. I was gonna say he just passed the 200k mark too.
No, he's doing very good. Again, now that I say that, of course, like a square piece spawns, but like he was being extremely clean and precise. But no, of course, RNG is just like saying, nah, you're doing too good, sir.
Yeah, I mean, like, almost back down. You just have one more you have to get rid of there. So it's funny because in all of this, he still didn't beat Jish though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not there yet.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there we go. Maybe one more. Okay, so there we go. Technically higher right now.
Nice. We're getting there.
A lot of burning to get back down to.
No, like for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
No, just that. Like, I feel like when you had to burn, like, it's also the sequence of pieces that you receive that needs to be favorable to burning. Because if the game says no, like, there's no... I feel like there's no skill level that can compensate better RNG when it comes to that. So there are certain instances in which you really, really need the game to give you some form of help. Because otherwise it's just not going to happen. But I feel like after a struggle, because the game made him struggle for sure, like, he was able to actually get clear and in scoring position again. But again, approaching transition and almost 4K, so this is again pretty high potential run for good scoring, so we'll see what happens.
Very smart burns there. Like, I think he realizes the potential of this one where he's like, no, I'm not going to be greedy.
Yeah,
I'll just knock it down a few more lines at a time.
not for sure. Like, he knows where he's at in terms of lines clear, then again, he knows that it needs to be low, because like otherwise disasters occur. So, we need to take it safe.
Yeah, casual.
The lines are going to happen.
Is it
there you go.
American? Are we gonna see a 430 or is the meme gonna happen? No, it's 431. We avoided the meme, chat.
Oh, there you go. We ruined everything. Dang the squares, man. They're so annoying.
Yeah, they are. So, very good.
Yeah.
Just a casual, almost 200,000 point increase. GG, Jish. Or Jish, sorry, Aries.
In the meantime, Jish also approaching 100 lines clear. But the board is
just wants one line.
Like a Swiss cheese, yes. It's there you
go. Not good.
Yeah, dude, it's again all the J's. Like, I don't understand what's happening on Jish board when it comes to J's, but it's always the J's. Like, I swear.
He has a different version of Tetris. You wanna know what it's called?
Yeah.
Jetris. It's just...
Jetris. Yes, you're so funny, man.
I know, thank you.
You're such a comedian. Like,
thank you.
So glad.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you share your jokes with us. Like,
thank you.
It's such a gift.
So many compliments.
Yeah, because like they just keep on coming. Because like it's genuine, you know.
See, it's a good thing I was born with the ability to ignore sarcasm and pretend it's a compliment.
Yes. I mean, yes, honestly, if I was in your same position, I would like to ignore sarcasm as well. Because, like, it would be a destruction of self each and every time. So, I'm glad you had the power.
Alright, just messing around no longer. He's like, you know what? We're just gonna get a triple Tetris in a row.
Yeah, at least you're just like, let's casually clear 3 Tetrises, like, in a row. Who cares?
He's on a mission to come back with 9-12 left. He's like, let's go. I think... Ooh, the pause strats. The calculated, you're like, where do I put this?
Yeah. It's a brain check. Yeah, pretty strong start, actually, for both of them, because, again, as of literally a second ago, even Aries was extremely clean in terms of board.
Oh,
still is. Oh, of course, yes. Why would you do that?
He made the poodle I did a long time ago.
Honestly, yes, like, it almost looked again like a fucking dog. Like,
yeah, it did.
Which we would like to explain and remember that is not the purpose of Tetris. Like, making dogs is not the thing. So,
yeah,
again,
how many...
let's avoid dog making.
Alright, let's have a poll in chat. Not the poll that Luca wants, because that's a bad idea.
Okay.
Has anybody else ever played Tetris and made a dog-shaped form? Because I sure have. Jish almost just did.
Honestly, yes, that was extremely close. Like, it looked like a poodle that had an accident, but it was close enough, I feel like.
No.
No, just
How
straight up
shocking.
no. Because people don't do that shit.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we're into crunch mode. I was using Jish's audio, and apparently he's like, no, we're no longer going to play song 3. So we got intense...
Yeah, he need to just turn it off, yeah.
Yes, intense...
Intense, like, pieces sound. Like,
yes.
boop, boop, boop.
Exactly.
Oh, man. The stubbornness.
Oh,
man.
Is it? Really? He got shoved over slightly.
Yeah.
So you think they got to be feeling like crunch time now, where it's almost 5 minutes left?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And again, like, it goes by so quickly, it's silly. Like, I feel like we literally started 5 minutes ago, and there's literally just, like, almost 5 minutes left, so... Yeah, like, playing is even worse. Like, I feel like, again, like, Jish has good potential of beating or reaching anywhere for under K. It's just about, again, allowing burns to occur more frequently, because I feel like he gets a little stubborn when it comes to getting high up there and waiting for the long burn that never really appears until the next J piece is going to come to screw you over. So I feel like burning is beneficial in that kind of regard, but...
Yeah, it's a weird balance because it is beneficial, but it's also counterintuitive.
For sure.
It's like, well, if I burn all the blinds away, like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna get as many
exactly.
points, but
no, like it's extremely counterintuitive.
It is, and it's weirdly balanced too. So,
Mhm.
but, I mean, I think Aries has done a pretty good job of that because I haven't really seen him kind of like make more than 3 spaces at a time, or like 3 spaces like vertically, for example, like that. He just got rid of it again.
Yeah.
So even if it's costing him a little bit more lines in particular, he's at least maintaining, I think, kind of like that stack height, so...
Yeah, like, that's definitely, like, good board management, because, like, even if you're misplacing pieces or something is happening, like, you really want to keep it at a minimum. So at that point, you need to know how to burn, and you need to know how to do it as efficiently as possible. Like, with as, again, little line as possible as well. Which is so hard. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Like, learning how to burn or learning how to clean up your messes it's a thing. Like, you really need to figure that stuff out. But it's a hard art to master, I feel like. So... And again, it's easy to get stubborn, I feel like, even when it comes to waiting around for, again, line pieces to spawn and appear and stuff like that, because, like, the game is so, again, random when it comes to, again, closing up your well and not having that Tetris readiness anymore. Like, the game is so quick at giving you lines and then making you wait another 30 pieces for the next line to appear. And you're like, okay, game, just, like, again, such a creative manner of, again, screw me over. But I think it's really not easy.
We were talking about a poodle. One of the times that I was playing, it was actually very cute because Kat was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "You made a poodle," and I'm like, "What?" But that was almost verbatim exactly how our conversation went. And I went back. I could maybe find that later. I would probably have to post it in like our Discord or something, but I don't know if you still have it on hand. But yeah, it honestly did look like a very goofy, almost like stick-shaped dog. Clearly,
Yeah, it was literally a dog. Yes.
yeah, it was a very noble poodle. Very unintentional, though. I can tell you that.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, as much as I want to take credit for it, I definitely didn't. So, Jish, again, actually both of them, again, very clean board right now.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
This would be interesting if like this is their last attempt and it bleeds into 0. Who holds out the longest?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is what you were talking about earlier, like just waiting for that
Yeah.
line piece.
Yeah, exactly.
And see,
Yeah. Like, it's a detriment more often than not, for sure.
yeah. I mean, that was really good still, but...
Like, whatever Chroma is saying in chat, like, actually, it's very true. Like it almost feels like you need to, like, foresee your next 10 moves, pretty much.
You do.
And yes, like, I guess based on the, again, combination of pieces that you receive, or just, like, the availability of pieces that you have, like, you really need to stack things up in such a way that you know that you're going to have room for that piece or that other piece, or if that piece happens, then you can shove it there opposed to here. Like, you really need to, again, build things in such a manner that you need to make room for everything. And if there's not room for everything exactly, then you need to know how to arrange things accordingly and just, like, creating as little messes as possible. But there's a lot of, again, like, work when it comes to short term, but more so long term too. More so, like, after you start clearing the first Tetrises, because I feel like the game is much easier at the very beginning, because again, everything is clean, like, there's nothing on the screen, there's nothing that you had to adapt to, and then again you start clearing your first lines and your first Tetrises, and then suddenly you have a board that looks a little wonky and you're like, yeah, I don't know what to do with this stuff. So, like, you really need to, like, to have that kind of, like, perspective look.
But on top of that,
your
too,
sequences,
like, you need to do it fast, because if you think about
yes, exactly.
I think it was like every 3 frames or something on level 19 a piece falls down, so it's like you don't have a lot of time to think either.
No, like, reaction time is, like, absolutely crunched. Like, you have such a split second to make decisions that are going to affect you, like, again, short term or long term. So, like, there's a lot of, again, quick thinking that occurs, and it's never easy.
Well, I think we're officially bordering into the territory of this is their last attempt.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. How far can they each take this last game?
Yeah, we'll see. There is potential on both sides.
Oh man, Aries.
There is no. Oh
really?
no!
It's up to Jish.
That was such a weird hang. Jeez, that's unfortunate.
Can
final
Jish
score
do...
434. So.
Yeah, that was really good. 434,000 is no joke. So GG Aries. We'll see here.
We'll see what our Jish does.
Yeah, it's his to win if he wants it. But, like, no pressure, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, getting spicy here. Oh man, that's sad. Can we have a line game, please? Thank you. We're waiting for it. This is such... Thank you. Of course, dude, I swear. They always come when they're not supposed to. The game knows exactly the state of your board. Yeah, that was mean. That was not cool from the game. But yeah, GG both. There's a Grammy behind the next piece. Honestly, maybe. Like, there must be some form of troll there. Like, somebody that sees whatever is happening is like, nah.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time thanks to Joey's amazing Adam's Family performance.
Honestly, yes, that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, big thanks to Joey. He put us back on schedule. If you guys want to come in here and just say some thoughts really quickly, you're more than welcome to.
If you want. We're not forcing anybody to talk, because I know what that feels like.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yes. If you're good, that's good too. But we have a couple minutes so we can do that as I set up the next run. But up to you guys. But GG to both of you. That was really good. Your final score is 340,000 to 434,000. But maybe just let us know in chat what you want to do. Because if so, you can just join one of the streaming ones and we can jump in there afterwards.
We will relocate.
Yes. But yeah, definitely go follow those guys. Jish, actually both of them are very good at Tetris, clearly. Jish, not really known for Tetris. If you watch his stream, he'll probably be streaming Super Mario RPG. So he speedruns that game. If you have any interest in that game, I guess both remaster and just in general, that's usually what he's doing. But Aries, very much a Tetris nerd, so you probably will see Tetris if you follow Aries.
Most likely.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I will, if you guys want to write, here, I'm not sure. Furious typing, sorry chat. We have,
I mean, you just crunch the apples into the microphone like
yeah.
a little keyboard sound be, you know.
Well, in the meantime, we'll go here and we'll see afterwards, so I can get all this other stuff off screen. But I'll keep this live. I will lower the volume here, and if they want to jump in, they can while I set up the next one. But if not, that's okay too. Alright, Jish says he's okay. Aries, you want to say anything? You're more than welcome to say something too. Now's your time to like shit talk Jish.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I'm not joining. But yeah. If not, thank you guys very much for participating. That's really fun.
No, I feel like the score attack Tetris is always fun. Like, no matter how you put it, like, no matter anything. Like, no matter your level, no matter your skills, like, no matter where you are. Like, it's always fun to both watch and try out for yourself.
It is, and it's unique. Like, this was a nice idea. Originally, it was supposed to be commentated by somebody else. So Kat and I just kind of stepped in, as I said, very last second. But so I appreciate your help there too. But in general, like I like this stuff, and we've held many events at this point. But this is basically the first time that we've done this on the main channel of ours. So.
Yeah, cause last time we were on our Arcade Monthly.
Yep. You know what? We don't really, shut ourselves out in that kind of way, but
shameless plug.
Yeah, we might as well, right?
Sure.
Well, we do have an arcade channel, and if you guys want to check that out, that's our arcade channel too. We do score attack stuff there, but more importantly, go follow Jish and Aries. And thank you guys for taking part in that. But I guess I'll mute myself. I'm not sure if Aries wanted to come, but if not, I'll set up for the next run. So enjoy the music. I guess me and Kat are vanished.
Goodbye.
Goodbye!